Hey everybody, welcome back to the BJ and Tuds show, and I'm joined as always with Tuds here, and Eric is joining us as well. Let's get started off with some baseball.
So before we go again to some NBA playoffs, I have a couple players that are known to be great and have started off very slow. So we're going to discuss them and see if they are maybe washed or maybe it's just a slow start and they're going to pick it up.
Okay.
Right? So our first player is Joey Votto, 38 years old, batting 118 so far. Is this the end of Joey Votto?
Offensively, yes, but I still think the glove's there.
Mm-hmm.
But offensively, I'm going to go with yes, he's cashed.
Yeah, I think we're definitely never going to see him at what he was before.
No.
And the thing defensively is, I know he said openly that he wants to play first base for as long as he's still in the league.
Yeah.
But to his detriment, the NL just added a DH spot. And I think more than likely he's going to start ending up there in the next couple weeks and years.
Well, maybe if you take his focus away from the field, it brings the batting average up a little bit. Focus solely on hitting, maybe.
Yeah, it depends on the player. Some players it helps, some players it hurts.
I mean, so. I know Giancarlo Stanton said he feels like he hits better when he plays the outfield.
And for Sam, the numbers have showed that he's definitely better.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe it's the vice versa. You never know. Different.
I think taking Winker and Castellanos also kind of hurts him. He has nothing around him. He has a lot of pressure at the plate to get something done.
True.
Yeah. Second player is Jose Altuve. 31, batting 156. Not horrible, but he's been one of the premier batting average players in the past however many years. Are we starting to see a dip in Altuve, or do we think he's going to bounce back?
I think he'll end up around 300 on the season, like maybe 290s, something like that. I mean, I don't know what he hit last year. Maybe it's a slight dip, but I think you'll see Altuve figure it out at the plate.
I agree. I think he'll bounce back. I don't know if he's going to hit 300, but nowadays the high 270s, high 280s is a great batting average.
Right,
so
right.
I'm sure he'll get it back up there.
He's one of those guys that has that unique kind of combo of speed, contact. He's got a little bit of pop in his bat too. So, I mean, I think the average will be fine towards the end of the season. Eric, thoughts?
Yeah, I also agree. I think there will be a little dip because I don't think he'll hit over 300, but he's still going to be up there, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'll just jump into this guy because they're teammates. Only 25 years old, but this dude was into the discussion to win AL MVP this year, and it's Kyle Tucker, batting 121 so far.
Okay.
He had a great year last year, but can we really project a player's career off of one good year?
Right. I was just going to say, like, we haven't seen enough of, like, Kyle Tucker, like, longevity-wise to, like, make an assumption, okay, you know, maybe he just had one really good year, or maybe that's something we should have expected. Like, so it's not like we're talking about Joey Votto or Altuve where they've proven they can do it year after year. Right. He had one really good year. Maybe he's just struggling to get out the gate. Maybe he turns it around. Who knows?
Next player we have, this one hurts because he's been one of my favorites for a while. 36 years old, batting 77 right now is Carlos Santana. And I think this man is cashed.
He's washed.
Oh, yeah,
that's absolutely.
Yeah, he's washed. But the thing is, like, he's been on the fence of wash for, like, I feel like 3 or 4 years now.
Right.
It just gets worse every year.
Yeah. It's a tough year for the Royals to have him lose his pop, too, because, you know,
that lineup's not that bad.
It's not. And they could have made something happen, but he had to be a big part of that.
Right.
You can't rely on all the younger players they have coming up to produce.
Right.
They need a mix of both, and I don't think they're going to get that with him this year.
Yeah, when I made my prediction for the Royals, I think I had them I started with them second in the Central, and that was like solely off Carlos Santana, like being that player, but clearly he's not. So now that middle of the division is just weird.
Yep, agreed. We got Paul Goldschmidt, 34 years old now, batting 138. What do we feel about that?
I think he'll turn it around.
I think so too.
I do too.
I think he's got more to give.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he reminds me a lot like Rizzo. He just puts the ball in play. So like sometimes, you're just hitting the ball to the defense.
Yeah.
I think that'll turn around as well.
Yeah, maybe the average will slightly decrease, but I think the RBIs are going to be crazy because his team around him, that lineup is insane. Everyone's going to get on base for him.
Yeah.
Agreed. And we know it's very early in the season. So some of these guys we don't really know at all. But I think Goldschmidt for sure is going to turn it around. I don't think he's done yet.
Agreed. 100% agree.
The last guy I got, Kyle Schwarber, 29, which in baseball is not that old at all, but I feel like he's been playing for a while. Batting 139 in a pretty hitter-friendly ballpark right now. I don't know. I expected a lot more from him off the jump than he's doing right now. And that goes for the whole Phillies lineup, to be honest.
Yeah, the Phillies starting off a little slow, but a lot of it's the pitching too. They haven't been able to pitch early either. But on Schwarber, he's one of those, like, he's a big strikeout home run guy. That's what he does. He's not going to hit for a high average. So, I mean, I think you'll see the home run numbers maybe start to pop a little bit, but I mean, the Ks and the low average, I think it's still going to be there.
Yeah. I don't want to bring the Yankees in everything we do, but the Phillies and Yankees lineups kind of remind me of each other just because they have such great players and such potential. But the guys need to be hot. And when they're not hot, they're not going to do anything really.
Yeah.
Schwarber's going to be a big part of that this year.
Right. They lose to teams like the Orioles, 2 of 3.
Right. Yep. And that's all I got for that list.
What are you going to do? And like, to jump on the Yankees, like, Cortez goes out there, pitches pretty well. I mean, what'd you say, Eric? He had 12 Ks.
12 Ks, immaculate inning.
Yeah, I mean, and we just can't. How many runs did we get that game? I want to say 0.
Zero.
Yeah, we were shut out that one.
Yeah.
First time we were shut out by the Orioles. I forgot how long, but very long time.
Right.
Like 91 or something.
The thing with the Yankees offense, it's just so volatile in terms of like when the hits come and when they don't. Like, we've never been a team that hits timely. It seems like it just never seems that way. We always rely on the long ball. And when nobody hits a long ball, we score 1 run max.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this series, 2 times bases loaded, I called both double plays, Hicks and IKF. It's predictable.
It's just no timely hitting. It's, and the thing is, I like to say they'll turn it around, but I feel like it's going to be the same story as it has been since, 2009, where the last time we won, it's just going to be, we'll make the playoffs, but we're going to lose the first round, probably.
And I really hate hearing the coaching thing keep getting brought up, and like the changing the order every game. People are getting mad about that. Do you want this guy that's not hitting before this guy? Is that going to help? Like, at some point, the hitters need to hit.
I agree. And the thing, like, do I like Aaron Boone? No.
But that's not the reason.
You can only blame coaching for so long. Like you said, he's trying to find a spark by changing the lineup around. You know what I mean? It's just like you said, hitters got to start hitting at some point. And when they're not, it's like, how are you going to blame Aaron Boone?
Yep.
As much as I dislike him.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. So let's Eric, please explain the game. But after that, we'll jump in. We'll talk I got some NFL points we should hit before we start talking about the playoffs here. So Eric, please.
Perfect.
All right, so the game today, we're going to do 2010's franchise leaders for NFL. So I'm going to ask you stuff like a team's like passing touchdowns leader in the 2010s, rushing attempts, rushing yards, stuff like that. And you're going to guess a player. If I do receiving, that could be a tight end too, or a running back. So remember that. It's not just receiver.
All right. First player, who we got?
So first player, we'll give a layup, but it's the Pat. Patriots receptions. He has had 521.
Is it a layup?
I don't know. Are you a Patriots fan?
I think it's a layup.
Okay.
It is a little tricky.
There's
Guys. All right.
There's 2 in my mind.
Yeah,
right?
there's 2 guys. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right.
Ready?
Flip.
Yeah. I don't feel good about this.
Oh.
I have Gronk.
It's Edelman.
I have Julian Edelman.
Well, there you go.
1-0.
It's because if Gronk played more, he obviously would have had it.
Gronk, yeah, Gronk's not a bad guess.
Yeah. That is a tricky one.
It was.
All right. We're going to go Bears rushing yards next. It is 6,435.
Bears rushing yards in the 2010s.
Whenever you're ready, Andrew.
I got an answer down. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anyone obvious. Getting nervous now.
All right.
All right. Matt Forte.
Matt Forte. Yes. And again, we are going to go easy to hard.
Yep.
All righty.
We got 15 of these, right?
15. All right. Next, we're going to go Jets passing touchdowns at 56.
Oh, God.
Like receiving touchdowns?
Passing touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
it can't
passing
be him.
touchdowns. I'm blanking.
I hate this guess, but
I'm blanking.
I would give you a hint, but I don't know if I'm right.
Who do they have? I'm thinking like Joe Flacco.
The thing with the Jets is they've had a bunch of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Wait, is this like 2010 to 2020?
I think so. Yeah.
2019.
2019. The 2010s.
Okay, never mind. And it's not my guy.
Jeez, dude, I can't think.
All right. I have my other guess.
Really? I thought this was all right.
I mean, this is really the only.
I feel like when you hear it, you're gonna be mad.
Yeah. Do you have a guess, Andrew?
Yeah. Is it
All
Mark
right, cool.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Mark
Okay.
Sanchez. All right. Yeah.
I couldn't think of like anyone that played after him.
Yeah.
All right, 3-2 BJ.
Brett Favre? Was he after or before? I don't even remember.
He was
Workout.
before. Next is Panthers rushing touchdowns at 58.
Ooh,
This could be tough.
it is tough.
Because I mean, realistically, there's three guys.
Yep, there is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm just gonna. But I feel like that with the white boy's too obvious.
He did a lot in the little years in the 2010s.
All right. I have my guess.
All
I
right,
have
flip 'em.
Jonathan Stewart.
I have Jonathan Stewart.
Is it D'Angelo Williams?
It's Cam Newton.
Oh,
wow.
that
Wow.
one. We overthought that.
We did.
Mhm.
Now that you say it, it
You
sounds
did.
so obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we overthought that.
I thought you guys
Wow.
would. That's why I added
That
Wow.
was a good one.
it.
That one actually irritated.
When you said 3 options, I thought you meant McCaffrey, Stewart, and Newton. But
No,
No,
D'Angelo.
McCaffrey, Stewart, D'Angelo Williams.
Yep.
yeah.
Were you thinking with me, Andrew?
I ruled out CMC. I thought it was going to be Stewart or.
Yeah, I thought
Well,
Stewart. I didn't even think Cam Newton. That's dumb.
Yeah, I didn't think that at all.
Wow.
All right. Next is Buccaneers rush attempts 1,150.
I don't like my guess.
Okay. I think I have it.
What
Flip.
do you got?
I got Doug Martin.
Doug Martin?
Doug Martin.
Let's go. See, I feel like he had a short stint. So, like, when I heard 1,000, I was like, that's a lot of carries.
What other prominent Bucks running backs have there been in the last 10 years?
LeGarrette Blunt, my boy.
Yeah, how long did he play there?
Like 2 years.
Yeah. All right, 4-3 Beach.
All right. Commanders passing touchdowns at 99.
Ooh. I'm blanking on this one too. I'm blanking on the quarterbacks today.
I got it.
You?
Mhm.
How many was it?
99. Just short of the triple digits.
Did this dude play it long enough there? I know I'm missing someone obvious, probably. I don't know why I can't think of quarterbacks today, but I got an
All right,
answer.
Let's see him.
The RG3.
Kirk Cousins.
Oh, it's
Kirk
fucking Kirk Cousins.
Cousins.
Wow. I knew I was missing someone big there.
That one came to me right away.
I just think Vikings now with them.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. Next is Bills passing yards at 10,232.
Bills passing yards. Oh my God.
I hate the quarterback ones today, man. When did Josh Allen get drafted? 2019?
Yeah.
There's no way it's this dude.
I have the feeling,
Right?
the same feeling about mine. I don't know if we're on the same
Honestly, I
track.
probably should have put this one lower because it's pretty hard.
All
Who you
right.
got?
I have EJ Manuel.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
It's Fitz Magic.
He played there long enough for that?
Mm-hmm.
He was
Really?
the only one I could think of that was like, I mean, the thing is, think about it. He probably played there 3 seasons. He could have put up 5,000 or like partially 3 seasons. He could have put up 5,000 yards in 1 year.
Yeah, he was the first person I thought of, but I thought Manuel played there like a year or two longer than him there.
Yeah, I mean, he also could have been the backup.
Yeah, that's true. All right, 6'3". I got catching up to you.
All right. Next is Panthers receptions at 524.
Oh,
Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
oh.
I think we just thought of the same thing. Are you changing it?
I just changed mine. You good?
No.
Oh.
No.
I'm gonna be really upset if it was my first guess, though.
I think we had the same first guess, and I think I know who you just changed it to.
We'll
Maybe.
see.
When did this dude play till? Dude,
How
I'm
many
off today, man.
receptions?
How many more?
No,
How many
how many
receptions?
receptions was it?
Oh, 524.
Okay.
Dude, I don't feel confident in this at all.
You got an answer?
Yeah, but I know it's wrong. I'm so off today.
All right, let's flip them.
Greg Olson.
Greg Olson. What did you have, Andrew?
Steve Smith.
That was my first guess.
Yeah.
Didn't even think of Greg Olson, to be
Oh,
honest.
that's not who you.
That's
thought
why I
was
said in the
supposed to?
beginning, I said
Yep.
receiving could be tight end.
Yep.
So I didn't throw you guys.
'Cause I put Steve, and then I remember you put Gronk, and I was like, "Oh, Greg Olson might have more."
If I thought a tight end, yeah.
Yeah.
Get my ass kicked.
Hey,
All
it's
right.
okay, man.
I was due for one of these.
Yeah.
These are hard, like the rest of them. So
How many more?
you can catch up. We got 7.
All right, I can catch up.
Yeah. Colts rushing yards, 2,953.
Colts rushing yards.
That's how many yards?
2,953.
Wow. This one I'm getting wrong. I feel like this is so much earlier.
It's definitely not the guy I have in my head right now. There's no way. My problem is I'm remembering the very early 2010s, and I'm like thinking about now.
Yeah.
Everyone in the middle to me is just like a big blur, and I can't pull out any
Yeah.
names.
You feel confident, BJ?
No, not really. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, I don't like mine at all, too, but I can't
right.
think.
Let's see him.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Joseph Adai.
Frank Gore.
Really?
Wouldn't have got it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next is Texans passing yards at 13,167.
It's got to be this dude. I'll be pissed.
Is it?
I need this point.
No, he got drafted too late. Hold on. Give me a minute.
You're good.
How many passing yards was it?
13,167.
13,000. Okay.
All right, let's see.
Matt
Better get
Schaub.
Matt Schaub.
Matt Schaub.
Yep.
Let's go.
That one was like the easiest one to me so far for whatever reason.
Matt Schaub was low-key a GOAT fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, he was very solid.
All right, this one surprised me. Raiders receiving touchdowns at 25.
Raiders receiving touchdowns.
I can't even think of a Raiders receiver.
There weren't many good ones early to 2010s. Oh, this is tough.
This one is tough.
This one's really tough.
Damn. 25 of them too?
Mm-hmm.
That's like so few. Oh my God.
I gotta guess.
Dude, I can't even think of a receiver.
That's how I felt this whole video. Empty mind.
Wow, I'm gonna punt this one. I can't think of a receiver. I can't.
All right, Andrew, show it.
Michael Crabtree.
It is Michael Crabtree.
That's a good
Bang. Let's
good
go.
guess. Nice.
All right, 5'8". How many more we got?
We got 4 more.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I gotta lock in on these harder ones.
All right, next one. 49ers receiving touchdowns, 33.
Oh, I hate that one.
49ers receiving touchdowns, 33.
I have a couple in my head for this one.
Okay. I have my guess.
Okay.
All right,
Vernon
Anquan
Davis.
Bolden.
Vernon Davis.
That was my second
Oh,
guess. Good job. That was my second guess.
that one hurts.
Yeah.
We can make the last one 2 points because
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna get it, to be honest.
Anquan Bolden was also in my head too.
Those are my top two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this one's actually a little bit easier. Dolphins rushing touchdowns at 19.
How was that easier?
Is it easy?
Well,
Like they've never had like a running back. Rushing touchdowns at 19.
yeah.
I mean,
Haven't-
I could be way off with this. I can't remember when he played.
I have an obvious one that I'm not going to put down just because I need to put one down you're not going to write.
Okay,
So I have my answer. The obvious one is Jay Ajayi, but I didn't write it.
that's not who I have.
I did Ryan Tannehill.
Ronnie Brown.
Lamar Miller.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
I totally forgot about him.
How many did he have?
19.
Yeah,
I feel like
19.
Tannehill could have gotten that done.
Yeah,
In the
probably.
event.
Probably.
All right, we got 2 more.
All right.
Browns rushing yards, 3,118.
Oh.
Hmm.
I almost
These-
put
These
Peyton
last 2 are
Hillis.
tough.
can't be Peyton Hillis. He had one good year.
Oh, wait. I just had a name come in and out of my head. And I'm pretty sure it was it. How many yards?
3,118.
It's ugly.
Okay, the name came back to me. I still don't know if it's right.
I have no idea.
Ready?
Clinton Richardson.
That's the way I had it first. Isaiah Crowell.
Isaiah Crowell.
Oh, nice, Tuds. Very nice.
I'm getting all the ones I shouldn't get.
What's the score?
It is 9-6.
Hmm.
So
Put all
the
the
best I
marbles
can do
on.
is lose by 1.
Put all the marbles on it. I'll make
right.
it worth 3. Or make
You
it
want to
worth
make it
4.
worth 3?
Make it
I'll
worth
make it worth
4.
4. Make it worth 4.
All right, make it worth 4.
All right.
You're not going to get this.
So it
you
probably
have
should
to,
be
you
worth
have to
4.
earn this.
All right.
Jets receptions, 207.
Oh, God.
If you get this, you deserve the win.
I got to lock in here. Half down to the Jets. Are you kidding me? Jets receptions. Say it, how many?
207.
Oh boy.
All right, I have my guess. I have 2 guesses.
I have a couple names in my head. I think all the receivers that went there weren't there for long. You know what I mean? I feel they haven't had a receiver that stayed for a long period of time.
Right.
This is so not right,
It's
but I'm just taking a shot.
I'll give a hint. It says receptions, not by a receiver.
Yep.
Oh, I
Ready?
lost.
Flip 'em.
I put Matt Forte again.
Brandon
It's-
Marshall.
Bilal Powell.
Bilal
Powell, are you kidding me?
Powell. No, we were talking about him
We were
earlier.
talking about
Were
him.
you actually?
Yes,
Yeah.
we were talking about Bilal Powell.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Wow,
I guess he did play there for a while.
he did. We were
Mhm.
talking about because it was like we were talking about your idea earlier, about just naming a team and like
Yeah.
position players, and we both said Bilal Powell. We love Bilal Powell here.
I
at
knew
the
Forte didn't
State
play
Fest
long
Show.
enough there to do it,
No.
but he was a reception machine.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
All right, BJ, good game.
All right, very good game.
It
Hey,
is
I
now
got a win on the
2-1 in
board.
games.
Huh?
It is now 2-1 in the games.
I got a win on the
You're
board.
on the board.
I'm on the board. Eric, thank you as always.
Yep.
Okay, so after the game, let's jump in. Just keep the NFL going here. Let's just talk. So some news I saw: Kyler Murray is told the Cardinals, I believe, that he will not play under a new contract, and that the Texans, the Seahawks, and the Panthers have contacted the Cardinals about potentially moving Kyler Murray. What are your thoughts?
They contacted the Cardinals, or the Cardinals contacted them?
They contacted the Cardinals.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't either. But do you think he gets a new deal?
I do. I do think he gets a new
Yep.
deal. I mean, that's just how sports work nowadays. The best player on your team, especially the quarterbacks in the NFL, they have a
Mhm.
lot more power than they used to.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the situation the Cardinals are in, they need Kyler Murray,
Oh, absolutely. Well,
especially the division they're in.
yeah.
It's
And
it's gonna have to happen.
You know, I feel like everybody has this sour taste in their mouths about the Cardinals just because they went out there and laid an egg against the Rams
Mhm.
in the playoffs. But, you know, it's tough to play a team 3 times and succeed all 3 times. So I don't know.
Especially against the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, the Rams were the best team in the league pretty much all season last year. So, I mean, no fault to Kyler Murray,
Mhm.
but they also didn't have DeAndre Hopkins that game either.
Yeah.
So it's something to watch. I don't think anything happens. I think he stays in Arizona, and even if he doesn't get a new deal, I just don't see him not playing,
Yeah, for sure.
but who knows? Just some other news around the league. Denzel Ward was extended by the Browns 5 years, $100 million. Now the highest paid corner over Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, okay.
I understand, like, you know, every year the cap goes up, so you're like guys are set to make more money and, you know, set those benchmarks. But I mean, Denzel Ward, obviously a great corner and worth it, but I just don't like when guys like Jalen Ramsey, who are the best corners in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close. I think he's making $500,000 more than Jalen Ramsey, so it's not like even crazy, but and I don't know how it hits the Browns cap, because I don't know where the Browns are getting this money.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty cap strapped, but
Mhm.
who knows? Just some free agents I'm going to list off. I want you to give me where you think they could land.
Okay.
All right, let's start with Julio Jones. Best landing spot for Jones.
So Julio Jones, I think there's 2 spots for him right now.
Okay.
I think they're both pretty obvious too. The first one is you reunite him with Matt Ryan in Indianapolis.
I like that.
They desperately need another receiver.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll draft one, but that leaves you with Michael Pittman and the dude you draft.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I think Julio Jones would fit in very well there.
Absolutely.
Obviously, he has a connection with Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And my other choice is the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
They got Sammy Watkins, but that's because they had to do something, right?
Well, right.
So I don't think that really stops them from making any other moves they need to make. In our mock draft, we mocked 2 receivers to them.
Yep.
And even if they don't pick 2 in the first round, they will draft receivers deeper in the draft.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I could see them, even if they do double dip in the first round, they might take 4 receivers and see what sticks. You know what I mean? That's just how it works sometimes when you're like, the team is so good, just that position needs help and a lot of it. So they can afford to draft like that this year.
Absolutely.
I don't hate those landing spots for Julio. I think I like Indianapolis more.
I think so too. Yeah.
But and also it all comes down to what Julio wants to play for. I mean, we really have no idea. So, all right, next one, Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry. I don't think he's going to be making a lot of money wherever he goes. I could see Baltimore possibly.
I like that. I like Baltimore.
But again, like these receivers, it's Colts and Green Bay are going to be an answer for all of them, really.
Sure.
Just because they're the most in need and they're win now teams that just need those players.
Yep.
Especially veterans like Landry, you can just plug them in right away.
Absolutely. Now, if this was before the Patriots traded for Devontae Parker, I would say Jarvis is a perfect fit for the Patriots.
I would absolutely agree. I would absolutely agree. But after, like you said, after the Parker trade, I don't see us making any moves for receiver. Right. At least this year. Definitely not this year.
And you got to think Julio and Jarvis, they're not going to want to go play for, these bottom of the barrel teams. They're going to go try and get some money from a contender with a good quarterback. You know what? Thinking of Jarvis or Julio, really, they could be the number 3 receiver on the Chargers. I think that would be interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, they're another team in win now mode that you don't really have to draft a receiver.
Right. Exactly. So if you can afford to go get one of those guys on a pretty team friendly deal and have them be your 3rd option, I think that'd be something to think about. All right. How about Tyrann Mathieu?
So one team sticks out to me, and it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that they need help with safety. Obviously, they have Minka, who I love. Yeah. But I think a pairing with Minka and Tyrann Mathieu could be pretty dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
That could help them out a lot.
I mean, you'd have 2 of the top 10 safeties in the league right now, helping that back end. And the Steelers secondary is probably their weakest point.
Yeah.
Like on defense.
On defense, definitely.
Crazy. But I do like Pittsburgh for Tyrann. Trying to think of another team. There's not really one that sticks out to me. So let's move on to Odell Beckham. It's like the same conversation we had with all the receivers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Odell, despite coming off the ACL injury, he's going to demand more money and is going to be the number 1 receiver. So I still like the Colts for that. I don't know if the Packers could give him that kind of money.
Don't think so. Yeah.
But yeah, and also something to think about is, does Odell really care about going to a contender like he did last year, or is now where he's going to try and capitalize and make some money?
Yeah, that's another one where I think the Patriots could have came into play with him.
Yeah.
Especially because they were in talks with him last year when he went to the Rams. And, he went and got his ring there. And it felt fitting that now he could come over to us and help us out. But with the moves we made, I don't think that's going to happen, clearly.
I think I like Odell to go to New Orleans. That's probably if I had to pick a team for Odell, that's probably where I would slot him.
I don't hate that.
Other than that, he's too unpredictable in terms of like just what he wants right now. If he wants to keep playing for winning while making, he's not going to make as much as if he's going to play for somebody else like the Bears or something like that. Just to hate on the Bears, but
yeah, I do like the Saints for a potential landing spot because then you can pair him with Michael Thomas. They're going to draft a receiver.
Yep. And
I think they already have a pretty solid defense.
Yeah.
So give Jameis those weapons. I think, especially in one of the weaker divisions in football, they can make noise.
Absolutely.
And we talk about the Bucs are going to run through that division, but the Saints have had their number the past 2 seasons.
The Saints do give them trouble, but
so they can with with those weapons, they could definitely make a
Yeah.
run of that division for sure.
But I just don't know with the Saints offense this year because Jameis was hurt all last year. So it was Taysom Hill and I don't even remember Trevor Siemian, I believe.
Yep.
So how much better is Jameis? They lost Teron Armstead. So, I think getting another weapon for Jameis Winston would be huge. But all right, moving on to the last free agent here, Melvin Gordon. Who's a running back needy team that could use Melvin Gordon?
I think they have to be running back needy, and I think they have to be win now.
I agree.
He did meet with Baltimore. They have their two best running backs are coming off ACL injuries, so they don't know what they're going to get with them. I could see Gordon going there. Nothing else off the top of my head.
I kind of like Buffalo, and it's not because they're like super running back needy. Obviously, Singletary really came on towards the end of the year.
He did.
So he's going to be their RB1, but there's something off with Zach Moss and the Bills. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think the Bills made it pretty evident that Zach Moss will not be in their future plans.
Right, exactly. So now you bring in Melvin Gordon. The Bills need to be able to run the football. Yeah. And this is what has killed them the last few years in the playoffs is their inability to run the football and stop the run. But anyways, if they bring in Melvin Gordon is a damn good running back. Whether you like him or not, he can run the football and he's good at it. So I think getting him in Buffalo would be really good. Especially, you're giving Singletary a blow. Let Zach Moss try and figure it out. So now you have three guys in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. I like that fit.
Yeah. But all right. So let's jump into some NBA playoffs. It's my favorite playoffs.
Is it?
It is. I really love the NBA playoffs.
Right.
So let's just, every team has played once at this point.
Correct.
So let's just start off with how they went. Mavericks Jazz. Yep. This was by far my favorite game to watch.
Okay.
It was even better than the Nets Celtics one, only because the way the Mavs ran offense without Luka Doncic was a complete 180.
Yeah.
So normally when Doncic is in the game, it's all high pick and roll, which it should be. And they're much better at that version of Mavericks basketball than they are the other day, hence why they lost. But I don't know. It was just interesting. And something I came away with is I feel like without Luka playing, you got to find a way to get Trey Burke more minutes.
Yeah.
He's a solid role player in the NBA, but what he excels at is creating shots for himself and others, which they really needed down the stretch.
Yeah. My takeaway from that game is just, what Utah's really been the past couple of years is they're going to give you a team effort every game.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if Donovan Mitchell doesn't take over, they're going to be in the game every time. Rudy Gobert took one shot and he had 17 rebounds.
Right.
And that team, they do their job. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't remember the score at halftime, but I know it was close. Donovan Mitchell, I think, started with 2 points in the first half or something like that. I
know he started very poorly.
And then, he comes out and has a 19-point third quarter.
Yep. Finished with 32.
So, I mean, they defended him pretty well. So the Mavericks did something weird on defense. They had Finney-Smith and they had, I forget who else started, but they had Dorian Finney-Smith guarding Donovan Mitchell, and they had the two guards, Brunson and Dinwiddie guarding the forwards. So, the Mavs they're like, okay, if you beat us, it's going to be in the paint. Yeah. And hopefully we can shoot threes and stay in the game, which they did for the most part. And I mean, it came down to the stretch. They showed a lot of fight down there.
Yeah.
Almost stole one. Just the biggest takeaway I had, you already brought it up. Rudy Gobert he finished with 5 points, took one shot, but he absolutely dominated the game.
Yeah, he did exactly what he needed to do to make that team successful.
He blocking shots. When he wasn't blocking, he was completely affecting shots.
Yep.
And then he's a beast on the glass. But no, it was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm excited as much as I did enjoy watching them without Luka, I would much rather watch them with Luka. Luka's
Absolutely.
probably.
Is he expected to play next game?
I heard he was doubtful, but then I was told maybe a game time decision.
Yeah, I heard he was
know.
doubtful for the first two.
Yeah, the calf strains are so they're tough. You know, it's like
because you
it's
can
hard
think
to
you're
judge.
healthy with them and you come back and
Right, exactly. One wrong jump and then it's
Yep.
you know you pull it again. So
Yep.
I don't know, interesting. Something to look out for. Let's jump to the Sixers and Raptors series.
Okay.
So the Sixers jumped the Raptors in this one, and it
Yeah.
wasn't because of Joel Embiid.
No, that was going to be my point exactly.
I mean, Joel Embiid still had a good night. He was.
Yeah, it's not like he didn't do anything.
He had the most quiet 19-point and 15 rebound game.
Exactly.
I mean, he was still very effective. But you know, you got Tyrese Maxey scoring 38.
What a game by that man.
Oh, he has say it again.
As a Knicks fan, he's everything we want Emmanuel Quickly to be.
Oh, absolutely.
He's Quickly times 10.
Oh, he's so good. He's made himself easily. He's overtaken Tobias Harris as the number 3 player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Joel or James is struggling, get the ball to Tyrese. Maybe you get some quick energy, some quick buckets, good offense. And no offense to Tobias Harris, he finished with 26 points. He still had
exactly, yeah.
But
what I was going to say is like this is what the 76ers need to make it to the finals. They can't rely on Embiid. They need Tobias Harris to put up over 20 points. They need Maxey to take over when Harden's being doubled.
Well,
and you know, Embiid's always going to be Embiid. So you need those guys around him to show up, and that's going to take them to the next level.
And you know, you brought up a good point. Harden being doubled, the Raptors were playing like running and jumping James a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, he finished with 14 assists.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I understand you're not going to leave Embiid open. So, like, you gotta pick your poison with these guys: Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris. They're going to get theirs if you're doubling James Harden or Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and especially with Danny Green being non-existent anymore.
Yeah, he's irrelevant.
He is, man. He fell off hard,
yeah.
But it's nice to see the other players are picking it up.
Yeah,
that's something last year with the Sixers. When Danny Green wasn't making threes, you felt that that team. Felt
yeah. And now you just slide Maxey in there, and he's taken the opportunity to run with it. I mean, the Sixers are going to be tough to beat. They're going to be tough to beat. And you know, I think the Raptors. I don't think the Raptors are very good. Like, I don't think Siakam.
They have a lot of role players.
Yeah, like to me, Siakam can't be your best player on a team.
He's proven that he can't.
Right. I mean, he still had a good 24, 3 and 7 to finish the stat line. Like that's a solid game, but
yeah,
just it's not enough against the Sixers.
Yeah, over the last 2 years for Siakam, you'd like to see a much larger jump with the potential he showed in his breakout year.
Right.
And he's kind of just steadied out.
Absolutely.
He's a great role player, great starter. Well, but he's not going to be that guy. That your number one.
He's shown he can be your number 3 player on a championship team.
Great number 3, yeah.
And that's what he was when they won.
Yep.
They had Kawhi, obviously the 1, Kyle Lowry the 2, and Siakam came in and he played that 3 role, and he was good at it.
Right. I think especially him being on his own now.
Yeah.
You can tell he needs more around him.
Yeah. Well, he's not like a shot creator either, which in the NBA you have to be.
Yep.
To be a superstar. I mean, you look at guys like Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, like these guys that can create shots for themselves and others. I mean, the NBA is full of them. I'm not just naming those 2, but those were just the two that came to mind. So this game was also a lot of fun. The Timberwolves Grizzlies.
So this was my favorite game of the weekend.
Yes.
And this is definitely my favorite series going on right now.
Okay.
Just 2 young, fun teams that remind me why I love basketball.
Yep.
And I just love every minute of these guys playing each other.
The first bullet point I have on my notes is Ant versus Ja.
Yep.
It just felt like those 2 were just going at it back and forth.
Yep, exactly how I wanted it to be.
Yeah, and I mean, Edwards finishes with 36, 2 and 6. Morant with 32, 4 and 8. I mean, those 2 guys, they're what, 20, 23, 22, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just dominating the series, right? And it's
Mhm.
only one game, but you know, don't sleep on Cat. He had 29 and 13.
Right. Yeah. I expect to set, especially with Timberwolves winning game 1. I expect this to go 7 games.
Yeah, you stole home court.
Yeah.
You know, you stole home court. I mean, that's huge as a 7 seed, especially. It kind of seemed like the Grizzlies, they came out flat. And I don't know if you remember the first 3 minutes, 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it was like 13-2 real quick or something like that.
The Timberwolves jumped out and they started putting it on them for a minute. And I was like,
Right.
oh boy, like, you know, it was.
And that's what the Grizzlies have been doing to other teams the past month.
Yeah, right.
So, they're pretty evenly matched. Those very high energetic teams that are going to give it all they got. So, yeah.
And I think just it seemed like the Grizzlies were very uninterested on defense. You know, you don't let up 130 points. You shouldn't in a playoff game. I understand those two teams are very high paced. There's a lot more possessions in a normal NBA game, but it just looked uninspired to me.
Yeah.
So I think game 2, I think the Grizzlies, I think they jumped the Timberwolves pretty good.
I think so too.
And I think they even this up, and I think it's 2-3-2, correct?
I think for basketball it's 2-3-2.
Yeah. I always get my playoff formats messed up.
Because baseball might be 2-3-2.
Does it NBA might go 2-2-1-1-1?
It's one or the other. I always forget.
Anyways, regardless, they're going back to Minnesota after game 2. And I think it'll be all tied up.
Can we just touch on Patty Bev real quick?
Okay, what do you got?
First of all, what are your opinions on the player? Because some people love him, some people hate him.
On the player,
no one's in the middle on Patty Bev.
I love Patty Bev, the player.
Mm-hmm.
I love, I understand. Listen, I'm not going to hate on him because they won the play-in game and he's on the table. He's like drinking beers at the press conference. Get excited. I think that's fine.
Agreed.
It's just all the, you're not good enough to just be in everybody's ear talking everybody's shit for you.
But that's why I love it.
I do love him as a player. He's very good. He's at what he does. He can't score, but he'll clamp.
Listen, if it didn't work so much, him talking shit and getting in people's heads, then we can say, relax.
Okay, fair.
But he gets people to get teed up. He gets people pissed off.
Yeah.
And that's the dude you want on your team and never against you.
Him and Marcus Smart, I put in the same kind of category there.
I was just going to bring up Marcus Smart.
And I do love Marcus Smart, but I think it's because he doesn't talk as much as Patty.
That's true. Yep. But guys like Marcus Smart, guys like Patty B, guys like Draymond Green.
Yeah.
If you play your heart out every single game, even in the regular season, I'm going to be a fan.
Those 3 specific guys those are the ones you love on your team, never want to play against.
Yep.
So I could see that.
So before we move on,
okay.
Since we're talking about the Timberwolves, I have prepared Anthony Edwards gauntlet that I'm going to run you through.
Okay.
Okay. I have 6 young players here.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me who you want more, who you would take for the rest of their careers.
Over
Anthony Edwards or this player.
Okay.
All right. It's going to start off easier, and then it's going to probably be a little tougher towards the end.
Okay.
So the first guy I have is Evan Mobley.
Ant.
Obviously
Ant.
But I had to throw Mobley's name on here. Fantastic rookie year. He's going to turn in something.
He should be rookie of the year, in my opinion.
I think so too.
I hate not seeing the Cavs in the playoffs, but anyways, next.
So another one of the easier ones, Darius Garland.
Ant.
We're going Ant. This is where it starts to get a little trickier. LaMelo Ball. Rest of their career, keep in mind.
Oh, this one's really tough. Give me Ant.
I agree. I think that LaMelo is going to become very good at what he does, and that's being a point guard, getting his teammates involved. But I think Edwards is going to develop into one of those very rare players that can do it all, especially defensively. I think Edwards is going to edge ball out a lot.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson.
Ant, not close.
Not even close?
Not close.
What if Zion comes back and plays a full healthy year next year and he plays like we thought he would.
Just once you have a foot injury like that and you weigh 285 pounds, it's always going to come back. It happened to Yao Ming, and he wasn't even the kind of jumper that Zion is. And I don't even think he weighed as much. So the foot thing really scares me, especially because he's like, I'm ready to play, but the team's like, no, you're not. So that concerns me a little bit.
I am with you with Ant, by the way. There.
Yes. That one wasn't close for me.
Okay. These two should be. Trae Young.
Ant.
Really?
Yep. I'm not a Trae Young guy. He's way too inconsistent, as we haven't touched on it yet, but as we saw in game 1.
Yeah. I just think as the years go on and the league just shifts to being more guard dominant than forwards and centers. And I think you need that elite point guard. And I think in 3-4 years, Trae Young was a top 3 point guard.
Sure.
And you value that over a top 3 forward, which I doubt in 3 years, Edwards will even be a top 3 forward.
Right.
So
I think career-wise, I would lean Ant, but that's just because I have a hair across my ass for Trae Young. But
fair. Last one is Ja Morant.
I'll take Ja.
Yep.
I'll take Ja, but it's close.
It's
really
close. It's definitely close.
I think
Ja's just that dude.
Ja, but the thing is, like later on in their careers, they both could be MVP candidates.
Definitely.
Ja pretty much was this year. I know he wasn't named a finalist.
Yeah, next year he's going to be in the mix for MVP.
Yeah,
already.
But I mean, that one's tough. But I would lean Ja.
I would have to agree on almost all of those. Trae. Listen, I'm not a huge Trae guy either because I'm a Knicks fan, so naturally I'm not going to love the dude. But I think that one's pretty close.
We'll talk a little bit more about Trae Young when we go over the Heat Hawks game.
Yep.
And I'll give you my feelings on Trae Young.
All right. Let's move on to Warriors Nuggets.
Yep. So they started Jordan Poole. I have a question. So I have a question for you. If you're Steve Kerr.
Yep.
They started Poole. Curry came off the bench.
Yep.
Do you keep it the same for game 2, even though Steph says he's 100%?
No.
So you have Steph start.
I have Steph start.
Okay. Why?
Because if you look at the Warriors bench, who's going to give you – so Curry was the only one in double digits off the Warriors bench.
Yes, he was.
And if the roles were reversed, then Poole becomes the jump or the spark plug off the bench.
I agree.
So I think either way, you're getting that dude off the bench you need to run with the second team. And I'm starting Curry over Jordan Poole in the playoffs. Sue me.
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah.
But this is okay. I think they should keep Jordan Poole in the starting lineup.
And bench Thompson?
Nope. Have Curry come off the bench again.
Okay.
This is why. Jordan Poole just put up 30 points in his playoff debut.
Yep.
He's got a lot of confidence. Now you bring him to the bench. What is that? It doesn't matter if who's coming in over him. It would be Steph. It doesn't matter, but you break that confidence, even just a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep the man up here in the playoffs, and then you bring Steph in just like you did. Steph would understand that, and I think he already does.
Yeah, but how long would they keep that going for? You can't run into the Western Conference Finals doing that.
No. I'm not saying they probably won't even do it for the end of the series. But let's say Poole goes out there game 2 and, he has 18 points and shoots like 35% from the floor. Then game 3, you're like, all right, Steph, go ahead. You know what I mean? You try to ride the hot hand as long as you can, especially in the playoff. And the Nuggets, they're no, like, besides Jokic, I think the team stinks kind of.
It does.
But, they're pretty good. Like
without Jamal Murray, that team takes a huge step back.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Jokic finished with 25, 10, and 6, and the game wasn't close.
Exactly. Yep.
Shockingly to me, I was hating on Will Barton before the game. He comes out and he has 24, 6, and 5. I was like,
well, yeah.
Okay. But so I have this thing. I bet on the Nuggets game 1. They got throttled. And I was like, okay, it happens. I bet on them tonight, game 2, +7. They get throttled again tonight. I will no longer be betting the Denver Nuggets because, quite frankly, they're just not that good.
Yeah, they're looking like when you look at the roster, nothing really jumps out to you except Nikola Jokic.
Right.
Like
And
Monty Morris is okay. Aaron Gordon,
he's
whatever.
so overrated. He can just dunk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but like the thing is that team was built for it to be Murray and Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have one of the two pieces, it's just not going to work.
Yep.
I mean, the fact they're a 6 seed is why Jokic is my MVP.
Yeah.
That team should not even sniff the playoffs.
It shouldn't. Yeah, take away Jokic. They're a garbage team.
Yeah, it's
Garbage.
just not. I don't know.
So one other thing I want to bring up is I've heard since Jordan Poole is playing out of his mind lately,
Mm-hmm.
is there a possibility Klay Thompson gets moved at the end of this year?
I'm sure there's a possibility. How strong? I don't think very.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to try and keep Klay and Steph together as long as you can. And the thing is, Steph and Klay have barely played any minutes together this year.
Yeah.
I think Klay came back his like third game. Steph got hurt.
Yeah.
And Draymond's been hurt all year too,
Mm-hmm.
like in and out of the lineup. But when those three play together, they're still one of the best teams in the NBA.
Do you have any idea how long Wiggins' contract is?
I don't off the top of my head. Because I don't.
Because I'm thinking if he comes off contract, you just move Klay to the 3 and you play small ball.
Well, and the thing with the NBA, Wiggins would be the guy you move, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But in the NBA, like position doesn't matter really at all anymore.
It doesn't. Yeah.
So moving Klay to the 3, he's probably going to guard 3. Like you still have lineups all the time where you have Steph, Poole, and Klay.
Mm-hmm.
So like Klay's just going to go guard the 3, Poole guard the 2, Steph will guard the worst offensive player on the floor.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's sad that the days of the true power forwards are over, man.
Yeah.
Guys like David West, Boris Diaw. There's never going to see him anymore. You got the center, and then you got a bunch of smaller dudes running around chasing each other.
Pretty much. It's all about shooting the 3, man. Like PJ Tucker plays 4 for the Heat most of the time.
PJ Tucker played games at center last year with the Rockets.
It's true. It's true. Speaking of PJ Tucker, let's jump to the Heat and Hawks series.
Yep.
This is where I'll go on my Trae Young spiel.
Okay, go for it.
0 for 7 from 3. He finished with 8 points. Right? So my thing is you're supposed to he's the only reason the team is even the 8 seed. Okay. Yep. He was out of his mind in the play in. I understand maybe, he's tired. He's got fatigue legs. They had to play 2 games to get in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But to go 0 for 7 from 3 and finish with 8 points and just a game you got absolutely killed from tip to finish.
Yep.
I mean, you just can't to be a superstar player. You can have off nights, but you can't have 8 points in an off night.
Right. I will defend him a little, even though I don't like him. Like I said, Okongwu sucked. He was horrible.
Yeah.
And Trae Young thrives in the pick and roll game with Clint Capella. And without
Capella was huge.
Without Capella there, half of Trae Young's game is taken away from him.
I agree.
So when you're Trae Young, you have to make threes. But when your three's off and you don't have Clint there to run your pick and rolls,
yeah,
you can't. You're not gonna produce.
And that's another thing. Like, shit isn't always gonna be sweet, man. You know what I mean? You got to figure out ways to win even if you don't have that part of your game. You gotta try to get to the free throw line, make them respect that you can get to the rim, and even if you don't finish, you're getting other people in foul trouble. Yep. I don't know. The thing with his aggressiveness is it usually turns into like those mid-range floaters or pull-ups and three-pointers.
And that's where he's so dangerous.
He is very good at it. But when you're not shooting the ball well, you got to get to the line.
Yeah.
But let's talk about somebody that did shoot the ball well. Duncan Robinson.
Are we surprised?
8 for 9 from 3, a franchise playoff record. Finished with 27.
The man Steve Novak on steroids. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He got benched for Strauss. but he comes in off the bench in the playoffs and he puts up 27 points and misses 1 3.
Yep. And a lot of people might be scratching their head at Strauss starting 13-2 with him in the starting lineup.
Oh, yeah. No, Strauss is very good.
Yeah.
Like the Heat player development is actually unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't hate starting Strauss there because he's a much better defender than Duncan Robinson is.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah.
But I mean, if Duncan can come off the bench and shoot, I mean, he's not going to shoot 8 for 9.
Especially looking at these other names coming off their bench.
No, the Heat aren't that deep.
They don't have that. They don't have the depth.
No, they're not.
I think Tyler Herro's vastly overrated.
Yeah.
He gets compared to guys he shouldn't be compared to.
Absolutely. I mean,
but that's what happens when you have one good playoff performance and everyone watches it. And they're like, oh, this dude's really good.
I was just going to say, because it was in the bubble and it's the only sport that's on. So people are like, who normally wouldn't watch basketball or watching, and they go, oh, Tyler Hero, he's a beast. It's like
white boy balling.
Yeah. But
it's easy to think he's very good.
People call him Bubble Boy. All right. Celtics Nets. This game was great.
It was disappointed the outcome, but
yeah, I mean, I don't root for the Nets. I don't root for the Celtics. So, but
I will say the Celtics definitely deserve to win. They played a much better all-around team game.
Absolutely.
And Kyrie carried the Nets to even have a chance of winning the game.
I mean, Kyrie was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And, KD, this is the thing. The Celtics played fairly well across the board.
Yep.
Right. Tatum finished with 31. Al Horford finished with 20 and 15.
Yeah.
I think the last time Al Horford scored 20 points was when he was on the Hawks.
Probably.
So, and Marcus Smart had a great game. Jaylen Brown pitched in with 20, mid-20s. They had a great all-around game.
They did.
Only won by 1, and Kevin Durant played not so hot.
Yeah, not great.
So I'm very interested to see where this series will go. And, despite, losing the game, the Nets allowed 115 points. The Nets are known for being terrible defensively.
Yeah.
But sometimes it seemed like their defense was the one keeping them in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for game 2 of that series.
I will say I was expecting the Nets to come in and win game 1 because I think they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And losing that first game, I especially feel now the Celtics have a strong advantage to win the series.
Yeah. Well, so I think a note I have written down here is the Nets depth it's just non-existent. Even their starting lineup, besides Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, It's not like, Bruce Brown's in the starting lineup.
Bruce Brown, Drummond.
Yeah.
Curry's good when he's good.
Yeah, right. But the Celtics starting 5 is pretty, it's top to bottom.
Yeah.
Like that, they may have one of the best starting 5s in the NBA. But their bench is definitely not great.
Mm-hmm.
But having one of the better starting lineups, it's going to win you some games. And I think that's what ended up happening last 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's going to be a very exciting series.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's jump into Bucks Bulls.
So this is a game that started off and you think the Bucks are going to blow them out.
Yeah.
And if DeMar DeRozan has a vintage DeMar DeRozan game he's had all year, the Bulls win this game.
Absolutely.
He shot 6 for 25.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't make the big buckets when they needed them. Same with Vucevic.
Yeah, Vucevic was missing bunny after bunny. They
had a chance to win a game they shouldn't have won, and they just didn't get it done.
When you play teams like the Bucks, despite DeRozan and Vucevic not playing well,
mm-hmm.
you gotta find ways to win that game because that should have been their game.
Exactly. They need to win those games in the series.
And we've talked about it before. We've talked about the Bulls' woes in terms of beating really good teams in either conference. And, you can see why. Yep. They just can't find a way to close those games. They were in this, the first half, I think they were down 10, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
they come out, they tie the game, and it's like you got to find ways to win. This is your game to win. And despite DeRozan and Vucevic not playing well, they obviously need to play better. DeRozan's already said, I'm not going to shoot 6 for 25 again.
Yep.
And I don't think he will.
Yeah.
But I came away from this game and I said, this series might be closer than I originally thought. But
yeah, but
that's if the Bulls can close the game.
Like we said, we're going to look back at the series and be like, wow, they won that game. They could have really made something happen.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't see them having a chance now.
Right. Vintage Giannis, 27-16.
Yep.
He's a freak.
So,
I mean, I'm not. Also, another takeaway, 2 very good defensive teams.
Definitely.
That game was low scoring. Seemed like a slugfest, just good defensive possession after another.
Yep.
And I do love that basketball from time to time.
Yeah.
So I am excited for the rest of that series. But like we were saying, I just don't know if the Bulls can make much of it.
Yeah.
So final game to recap here, Suns and Pelicans. Chris Paul is the Suns' best player.
Oh, absolutely.
He is 37 years old. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 19 points in the fourth quarter.
He wants that ring so bad, dude.
He's playing like it, but this is the perfect team for Chris Paul. Like Devin Booker is so much better when the ball's not in his own hands and he has to play it himself.
Yep.
So, I mean, and then you got Ayton, who's great pick and roll, great lob guy.
Mikal Bridges is one of my. I should have mentioned him with Smart and Beverly.
Yeah, he might win
defensive effort every single game of the year.
He might win Depoy this year. To me, if it's him or Marcus Smart, in my opinion. But I mean, they have role players all over the floor.
The team's built perfectly.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And, to see Chris Paul just like will his team to wins like this is incredible. And he did it last year. I know they lost in the finals, but I mean, they were right there in a lot of games. And I think that this extra year for all the younger guys and just them as a team, I'm starting to think they're going to beat the Warriors, who was my finals pick.
I think so for sure. And I've said this before, but Mikal Bridges is more important to this team than DeAndre Ayton.
100%.
You replace Ayton with a center with an average center.
You could put Steven Adams in that team.
Definitely. You keep Ayton, but replace Bridges with an average small forward. That takes away so much from your team.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, even if you just say Bridges wasn't on the team, but now Cam Johnson's the starting forward.
Right.
It changes drastically.
Yep.
But, not to knock the Pelicans. I mean, they were down 23 and they got it back to within 8.
Yeah.
I mean, Valanciunas, the most bizarre stat line I think I've seen from all the games. He had 18 points and 25 rebounds.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even notice that until right now, to be honest.
All over the glass. So
what I will say is though, they just waited too late to get CJ. Because they are a different team with McCollum in the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now you're in a spot where you're playing the 1 seed, who's Phoenix. So you don't really have a chance.
Right.
I think if they acquired CJ earlier, they could have made a little more noise. Maybe played a 2 or 3 seed instead.
So, they didn't have a chance to get the 7 seed because, they were the 9 seed coming into the play-in.
Right.
But I think if you put the Pelicans against the Grizzlies, I think we're seeing that the Grizzlies are beatable.
Definitely more so than Phoenix, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, I think great game ones all around.
Yep.
Learned a lot. What I was thinking the other day is, if the Celtics go on to beat the Nets, right? Or even if the Nets win, think of the road you have to take to get to the finals.
Yeah.
You're probably going to play the Bucks the next round.
Yep.
And then the round after that's the conference finals. You're probably playing Philly or Miami.
And
then you're going to play, in the finals, which obviously is going to be a team playing the best in the West.
Yeah.
So a very difficult road in the East.
Yeah, looking at the West standings right now, you got Memphis at your 2 seed, beatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have been playing great, but beatable.
Yep.
Golden State at the 3.
I think
Not the Golden State we've seen.
No, but I still think they're better than. I think they're the number 2 team in the West.
Yeah, agreed. You got Dallas at 4, Utah at 5, Denver at 6.
Yeah.
Like when you compare it to these East teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But like to me, I really think the only finals contenders in the West are Phoenix and Golden State.
Yep. Agreed.
You know, so I really hope we get that matchup in the Western Conference Finals. And I think the East, it stays pretty much the same. You got the Sixers, the Celtics. I think the Nets are still there, the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even mention the Heat. The Heat, I don't think are, but I mean, they've been there, so I can't say they're not.
Yeah. They're like the Titans last year who got the 1 seed, but you're like, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of the same vibe.
Yeah, pretty much. But all right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to the BJ and Tuds show, and we'll catch you next time.